our customers will save 2 to 4 barrels of cutting fluid per year. On average, through the drain, you're actually recovering between 50 and 200 mils of cutting fluid per hour. Again, on average, between 8,000 to 18,000 hours between HEPA change.
Today's episode is brought to you by MTDCNC, the go-to platform covering the latest stories in the world of manufacturing.
Brad, good to see you again. This time in Northamptonshire.
Yeah.
Last week it was Hanover.
Yes, thank you for having us. We've had a great weekend here in the UK, and great to be in the studios.
How is England for you guys? So you were in Germany last week. We'll talk about the show and all that shortly, but you had a good time over the weekend?
Yeah, we did. We took the opportunity to give ourselves a bit of rest and recovery. So hit up a few spas, a few saunas, a little bit of a cold plunge. So a really, really relaxing
sort of the cold plunges?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Because you live in Stockholm.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I'm originally from Canada.
Okay.
So I've moved over to Sweden about 15 years ago. I studied my master's in Sweden and sort of got myself stuck, and 1 year became 2, and 2 became 5, and 5 became 15.
Really? Right?
Yeah.
Beautiful place.
Yeah, it's great. I really love living there.
For those that don't know, and you won't, but we've got a green room here, and we've got about 5 or 6 of the guys from 39, and they've all done their pieces, and now it's just me and Brad, so they're all sitting there eagerly watching, hoping he doesn't make a mistake.
Waiting to catch every single mistake that I might or might not make.
Brad, we were with you guys 39 last week at EMO.
Yep.
We're doing a lot with you in the coming weeks and months.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
We've shot a lot of content, but I think for those that might not have seen that yet, they can visit our YouTube channel to watch in due course, and of course our website. But just perhaps briefly introduce yourself and 39 as a company, so they can get a flavour for who you are.
So my name is Brad Eicher. I'm the CEO of 39. I've been the CEO for the past 2 years, so relatively new in the company. The company itself is actually a 25-year-old company, so we've been around for quite a while. The evolution of the company, or where we sort of started from, was actually the milk industry. The long story is that there was a select group of engineers who were working for a pioneering company in separation technology, primarily servicing the milk industry. They thought that they could reapply the technology into this market segment, so handling oil mist. And they ventured off on their own, created a prototype, found funding, and started the business 25 years ago.
Okay, tell me about the milk side of things. What were they separating? What was
basically the milk fat from the proteins. So if you look at milk production today, that is essentially how the sort of, to process, to pasteurize, to go through milk, you need to separate out the fat, and then you add back the fat for your 1%, your 2%, your 3%.
Okay.
So that's sort of where the technology really started from.
And is that technology still the same there now as it is what we're going to be talking about today?
Yeah, more or less.
Right.
It's at least the same principle.
Yeah, so that must be a massive market for you.
It is. There's one company in Sweden that's extremely well known. They really dominate that market space. Extremely, extremely well known company.
So the separation technology that we've got here, which is actually running, for those that can see it and maybe hear it, what's different about it, Brad? Let's talk about that to start with.
Yeah. So if you look at the space that we're in, which is oil mist and oil mist care, almost every product on the market, or at least the most common solution, is to pass air over a series of filters and actually catch the oil. What our product does is it actually separates the oil mist. So the oil particulates are processed through the disc stack. The disc stack is comprised of a series of plastic discs rotating at high speed. That high speed, using centrifugal force, forces out the oil particulate from the air. So you're basically getting 99.9% of oil particulate down to a level of 1 micron separated out prior to going into the HEPA filter.
Okay, and that's where the name 39
actually comes from, exactly.
So
99.9% separation, 39.
Yeah, and you have, is it around about 18,000 units or machines installed in the field currently?
So over the course of those 25 years, we've been fortunate enough to find a good customer base, both here and in Europe and in North America, and have 18,000 systems out running in the field.
And this is the new Apex range.
Correct.
This was launched. I mean, we've been talking about it for a while, but its official launch was last week at EMO, where you had 3 of the units there. Yeah.
We've been working extremely hard over the past 2 years, developing and designing this product specifically for launch at EMO. We really wanted to come out and use that event as a strong platform to launch the product. Yeah. So the new Apex range is here, officially on the market. We've done about a year of prototype testing and validation in advance of EMO. So we've had in total roughly 50, 60 systems out running in the field at various customers, basically proving out the new product range.
Okay, and the success of those, will they be keeping them? Will they? How will that work?
That's the great news, that they will be.
Right, okay.
So we've actually managed within that process to not only get our customers to trust us putting in a new machine. That's always a bit scary. You know, you go and talk to a customer and their job is to make parts. Our product is to provide clean air, but of course to keep the machine running. So for them to entrust us with putting a prototype on their in-machine shop in operation, it really does, for me, serve as a bit of a testament to how trusted we are with our customer base and how trusted the technology is. But off of those prototype orders, we've actually had some first-time customers that have the opportunity to convert into some pretty sizable orders for us.
And Brad, one of the things that I've seen is you call these units some quite personalised names, don't you? What's the meaning behind this?
Yeah, so all of our products are named basically from Norse mythology and sort of strong female Swedish or Norse names. So in this range, in the Apex series, we have Vera, Freya, and Hilma. So again, sort of celebrating our Swedishness, which are our roots, but also maybe personalizing the machines. We actually think it's quite fun when customers call us and say, oh, you know, I love my Vera, or I love my Freya, and it also gives us a bit of a around the office that we refer to them as our ladies. These are our pride and joy. These are something that we're proud that we spent a lot of time and effort to build, to construct, to design, to provide good clean air for our customers. And then also anecdotally, the names are also part of the Stockholm commuter network. So the boats that run around Stockholm taking people from our office into the center of the city, two of the boats are actually Vera and Freya. So it was sort of this nice tie into our Swedishness, Stockholm, and again, sort of giving us a sense of pride into the products that we design.
And then the global market, when we look at it, is there any areas within it where you think are different or are particularly strong, and what the reasons might be behind that too?
In Europe and North America, this is a very well-established product category. Everyone understands the importance of providing clean air and safe working environments for their personnel. When we go into global markets, some of the maturity in those markets is a little bit different, and the focus of management and the focus of the operations to really care for the machines, because the oil mist does impact to a certain degree the machine's long-term functionality. But that sort of focus on the people working in the facility, the cleanliness of the facility, what type of working environment it is, it does change a little bit by market, and that can be a barrier to someone deciding to even take a product like this, let alone our product.
That's where I'm going really, because the biggest market for all of us is the small to medium sized enterprises, isn't it? And these are often the ones when they buy a piece of capital equipment, they're interested in the technology, but they're also very conscious of the costs and the commercial implications, and where they can save money, they will. And this, to me, is an area like many where companies will go, well, do I need it? Should I get it? Can I add it later on? What are the arguments when you get into those conversations where you can actually change someone's mind and they can think, actually, there is the return on investment, the longer term benefit, all those aspects?
I think the struggle that we have a little bit within our sort of customer base is because this is a different technology, because it is not, we're singular. We're the only product in our market category that actually has this technology.
So how does the others work then, if you were making a comparison?
Yeah, so the most ubiquitous solution on the market is to basically force air over filtration. You're using a series of 4 or 5 different filtration layers to basically catch the oil. So they're collecting oil as opposed to separating the oil out and actually returning it back to the machine tool, like our product does. So from that perspective, when you go and talk to someone and say, this is something new, it's something different, it has the ability to separate out the oil mist as opposed to just collect the oil mist, it is a bit of a adjustment of mindset. What does that mean? What are the benefits for us? How does it work? So there is that little bit of just having to explain how the technology works in comparison to the more standard solutions.
So the immediate advantages that strike to my mind is obviously the recycling of your lubricants, your neat cutting oils or coolants. That's quite big in itself, isn't it?
It is massive. So on average, our customers will save 2 to 4 barrels of cutting fluid per year because we're so efficient in separating the oil particulate from the air. Right. So what that means is, on average, through the drain, you're actually recovering between 50 and 200 mils of cutting fluid per hour, again, on average, depending on the size of the working tool. So depending on the volume of oil mist you're processing, and depending on the pressure, that will define how much oil is actually coming up into the machine and how much we're separating out.
So the discs are spinning.
Yep.
And then it's kind of throwing I'm talking in real basic terms here, but it's throwing the oil against the sides of the unit.
Yep.
And then that's coming back down out of these nozzles here,
Exactly.
or these chambers, back into the machine, essentially.
Exactly.
Right, okay, wow.
So we are the only product on the market that you can truly say is a recovery system. We are recovering the oil almost to 100%. Again, anything that is 99.9% down to 1 micron. Yeah. So the only type of oil or particulate matter that's actually entering into the HEPA is the finest of the finest of the finest.
And then that would mean then in turn that less frequently you have to change this filter.
Absolutely. We say, again, application specific. So there are some applications that generate more mist and more small fine particulate, but on average between 8,000 to 18,000 hours between HEPA change.
Okay. Is there any machine type that this wouldn't apply to or couldn't fit on? I mean, no. I'm thinking sliding head technology, of course, what they use there, but general machining centers, 5-axis machines, any brands. Is this a product that would fit anywhere?
As long as you have an enclosure. So where we really don't work well, or an area that, if you're open machining, the mist is just going everywhere. There's no sort of cabinet to enclose the mist. But if you're working in any type of machining operation, any type of machine that has an enclosed cabin with a ducted out air port, this product will work fantastically in any application.
Which would be the majority? The
broad majority. And where we really specialize, actually, or where some of our customers come to us really looking for us to solve a problem, is in their most difficult applications. It really is customers who say, we've tried other products, we're having a really difficult time with oil mist coming out of that particular machine. There's a lot of swarf, there's a lot of grit, there's a lot of dirt, there's a lot of fine particulate. We haven't found the product that's working for us. It's those applications where we actually perform best.
How comes they haven't been speaking to you in the first place, though? That to me is something I'm thinking, okay, and I'll be honest with you, Brad, here, we worked in this industry for a long time. Yep. And I know the name, but until we started dialogue maybe 6 to 8 months ago, I'm thinking I didn't know any of the things you're telling me now. Yeah. So the likelihood is that the majority of people watching this will be in a similar position.
We say our product category is best kept secret. Yeah. The people who know us, they know us and they trust us. We've been working with certain customer groups for a long time and are well established in their global operations. But in certain markets and in certain customer bases, we're not there at all. And that I can explain that kind of shortly because it is a little bit of our history. We have been primarily an innovative company. So over the course of 25 years, we've generated over 400 patents. And those 400 patents cover a whole bunch of other product categories outside of this one. We have automotive products. We have biomedical products. We have carbon capture products. Those were all part of the 3.9 long-term legacy. 2 years ago, I should correct myself, 3 years ago, we decided to actually separate the company. So the core 3.9 really just sort of focused in on this product category and this industry. We said we need to be great in what has made us great and what's the sort of baseline of the company. And all of the other IP assets have been sort of put into another company where they're managing those IP assets into those different product categories.
Wow, this sounds like a lot of work. Sounds like a lot of intellect.
It is.
Some pretty clever people there. Yeah. I mean, but the technology itself, forgive me, but it looks quite simple.
It is. I mean, it's
and that can only be a good thing.
Yeah,
really.
There's degrees of complication, like any good technology. There's always sort of the secret in the pudding. Yeah. But realistically, all that it is plastic discs stacked on top of a motor, spinning at high speeds to separate oil particulate. Yeah. Again, I sort of try to break it down to those simple terms. Yeah. There's a lot of math behind it. There's a lot of physics behind it, which will not even try to understand.
But they don't need to. They need to know how simple it works. Absolutely. And the effectivity of it. We've got a green light here on this unit at the moment. Walk me through what would happen in the event that there is some maintenance needed, and what could that look like?
So the green light is an indication of performance. It's a simple visual indication that from operator level, from production, depending on where your production offices are, you can look out over the factory and see what's the status of those machines. The green light indicates green for go, obviously. There's a blue light that indicates basically one of three primary checkpoints or service maintenance points. One is the inlet air. So the inlet is connecting through a ducting system into the machine tool. There may be a blockage in the inlet air. There may be a blockage in the outlet air, so again, the top, or there may be a blockage in the filter and or the filter is becoming full. So those are your three service checkpoints on a blue light. And then there's also a red light, of course, if the machine is having significant failure. And at that time, you really contact 39 for support.
But the connection between the unit and the machine then, is it like almost like what I'd describe as a sieve or something that would stop bits of swarf getting through?
Exactly. So within the ducting system connecting to the machine tool, there is basically a grading system, and that does contain any of the swarf. So sometimes you have to take that out and just make sure that it's blown off or cleaned out. And again, you get an indication of that through the blue light. And or if you just have normal preventative maintenance routines, we recommend checking it every sort of 3 months or so.
Yeah, and if you were machining coolants, neat cutting oils, different materials, is there anything you have to set or change on it in order for it to be more effective with those types of...
So we have something quite unique, which is what we call the clean in place. It's a fairly important part of the overall system. What clean in place does is it continuously sprays clean cutting fluid onto the discs to remove any debris, to remove any fine particulate, and also keep the disc clean. So basically, by flushing the system continuously, we're maintaining the machine in place. So instead of you having to get up on the machine to do cleaning, we're just doing a constant clean. That system itself is directly connected to the clean side of the oil. It's putting on the same concentrate, so you're not diluting any of your sort of concentrate or cutting fluid. And that's a system that, again, needs a little bit of sort of preventative maintenance and maintenance controls every now and again.
When you put one of these onto a machine, is there any... we've spoken about it, there is a benefit to the machine in itself as well, isn't there? So if you don't use this type of technology on a machine tool, you're not maintaining the machine tool to the best degree you could as well. There's an area which people would need to know too.
We have a lot of customers running lights out, and they've specifically chosen our product because they know that, again, the longer HEPA life filter time means there's less risk that the HEPA filter becomes full and starts spewing out oil during basically lights out operation. And that can have an impact on the machine tool. Absolutely.
And then health and safety. I'm not going to say the world's gone mad on health and safety, but it's a very, very important part now of every business, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Operators, everyone in the machine shop. There must be a big push in that area from you to be able to get these units into companies.
So again, a couple things to say there. One, I can share sort of just an ad hoc or a story that I heard. I was at a trade show last year in the US, and I met a company called Flex Trades, and they provide basically machinist on demand. And they said the reason why their business exists is it's becoming so hard to find good machine operators. One of the longest positions that are open in the US market currently is machine operators. So it's becoming so important to provide that good, clean, healthy working environment. That is becoming part of the knockout criteria for some operators. So having a product like this, or specifically our product, of course, is going to make sure that all of your workforce is protected and working in a good, clean environment. But the second part is beyond just sort of the health and safety is also the environmental impact. If you think about the other products on the market where you're just using filtration, you are going to be throwing out filters left, right, and center. That is a huge environmental impact as well as a huge cost impact in terms of both the filter cost and the downtime. So having our product being able to run longer, fewer HEPA filter changes, but extremely clean air throughout. Extremely clean air. We are, like I said, separating 99.9% oil particulate directly in the separation system.
And then, Brad, there are actually 3 units that we looked at over the course of the last week or so at EMO and here. How do you differentiate between the 3?
Absolutely. So the Apex line is consisting of 3 products currently. We have intention to add additional product sizes throughout the course of 2026. But basically, the differentiation between the 3 product models, the Vera, Freya, and Hilma, are the sizes. So they are spec'd out in different size ranges for different machine applications based on volume, based on pressure, and based on the type of cutting fluid you're using. We will help our customers to spec out which product is the correct fit for them.
Okay, and then we're talking here about a global market for you guys. How does the distribution network work? How do people get in touch? Is it all direct, or have you got people?
So we have a mixed sales approach. So we have both distributors. We have in the US reps who represent us in their given territories, and then we have our direct sales. So we are really in the market. In certain markets, we work primarily through distributors. In certain markets, we work mixed with our distribution partners and direct. And then our global markets, there we have primarily distributor support. So if you look at our distributor network, we're in total 40 distributors worldwide, covering off the different worldwide markets.
And the units themselves, are they made
in Europe? So we have 3 production locations spread across Europe. They are producing different product models. So in total, we have 3 product models today. The product portfolio will actually be with the release of Apex scaled down a little bit. So we have our production based in Europe.
And I was talking to Theophil earlier about the installation of these.
Yeah.
Very straightforward, isn't it, as well, by the sounds of things?
We really tried with this product specifically to try and go for the plug-and-play approach. If you look at our previous models, there was some degree of fine-tuning for the installation. Where this product, we help you choose the stand, we help you choose the product model, so the size, and then we basically provide you with the instructions for how you mount. The addition of the harding contact, it basically allows you to connect directly to the machine tool. So you get a machine tool connection, you provide power supply, you put it up on the stand, and within 3 or 4 hours, you're up and running.
It's really that quick.
It really is that quick.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. The future, Brad. A few years' time, where what would you like to see as the success of what we've got here?
I mean, what would be great for me is to see our product out there helping more of our customers. We really and truly believe we have the best product in our product category on the market, bar none. We are so confident in our product. We're so happy with our product. We think it performs. The ROI on the product will be experienced by every single customer who chooses to buy. You will save money on your cutting fluid. You will save money on your HEPA filters. You will see longer uptime. We have some customers who, when they've changed to us, they've gained as many as 5 to 10 working days just because they're not doing all of the maintenance checking. If you're changing filters every week, second week, third week, we offer on average 4 to 5 times longer on the filter change.
So it's the time it takes and also the cost of it.
Absolutely. Our filter changes we've had some videos shown with you guys where it's like a 30-second filter change. Of course, that's a little exaggerated because you have to go up and down on the ladder. But one thing to mention there on the filters, we actually choose a very specific filter made for oil mist, which again increases longevity, it increases durability, and it's on average 5 to 10 kilos lighter than other HEPA filters. So again, we've really tried to think of, if you're going up to service the machine, what are you doing? You're crawling up on a ladder. You're going up on a hoist. You're lugging a filter with you. There's a difference between 50 kilos and 35 kilos.
Yes, 100%. Very, very informative. And it's been great to work with you guys over the past couple of weeks. I'm sure we'll go and see some of these installations at your customers because it's also
that'd
great.
Be so great.
Well, in fact, we did it at EMO Hanover. We had a couple of the guys. I think there was one of your colleagues was from Germany, and he had a machine shop just south of Hanover, didn't he? Did he have 30 of your units or 30? I can't remember, but he was certainly...
We've got... what I love about our customer base is they range from your small, mom and pop type of run operations all the way up to these behemoth global operations where they've got 50, 100, 200 machine tools in operation. So we really are... Where we've actually seen the most engagement oftentimes is those small mom and pop, where it is my son's working there, my daughter's working there, it's my, nephew, niece, whoever. We want to make sure that they're working with the cleanest air.
Yeah.
It's really those customers who sort of find us. But then, we of course have these big global companies that realize the ROI on the product.
Yeah. You've had 2 weeks on the road. You must be tired now, are you?
I'm really looking
This
forward.
is the end. This is the swan song for you.
So we had emo. Now we're here with you. We've got a 2-day sales conference these following 2 days, and then I'm off to see my son and go on a little bit of family vacation.
Okay, well, enjoy it, Brad. It's been great to have your team here. It was great to see you at emo. Looking forward to publishing all of the content that we've produced. So, of course, you can see that on the MTDCNC website. You'll also be able to see it on our YouTube channel, our LinkedIn page, Instagram, all of those things. You've heard it here. So it really is technology that to me stands out and should be considered for the ways that Brad has explained. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you, Paul.
Look forward to working with you more in the future. Thanks, Brad.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. If you want to find out more about what's happening in the world of manufacturing and engineering, visit mtdcnc.com.